Hey everyone, we are live. I'm here with the legend, 17-time Grand Slam champ Gigi Fernandez. She's also a multiple time gold medalist and Puerto Rican Athlete of the Century. Pretty cool to be named that for your country. That's pretty sick. So,
Means you're old.
uh, what's no,
Just means you're
nah,
old.
nah. No, it's all in the mind. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, thanks so much, Gigi, for joining us. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have you on. How have you been?
I've been great. I've been enjoying life. I had a fun camp at Indian Wells. I did 4 camps at Indian Wells, and then I needed like a month break.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, but I had a nice little spring break with my kids in my favorite place, the Virgin Islands. So I actually have a trip to the Virgin Islands in November, so I needed to go check it out. Meaning a tennis camp in the Virgin Islands, and yeah, everything's good. I'm
Cool.
Sometimes I'm on the plane path, so if you hear a plane, I apologize.
Oh, no worries at all. No worries. Yeah, it's I was telling you, it's a nice natural sound that, we enjoy. But yeah, so if you're checking out the live stream, say hi. I know we have a bunch of people in already, but it seems like you're a little shy. But yeah, I've got some questions for you, Gigi, and then, we'll take questions from the audience. So feel free to, take advantage of this opportunity to ask questions from 17-time Grand Slam champ who's been through a lot of ups and downs and clutch moments, obviously, to win that many trophies. So, yeah, definitely do that. But Gigi, first one is kind of related to what I just described a second ago. Is did you have a go-to routine when the nerves hit you? Because obviously, a lot of us a little bit lower of a sort of like level, I guess, but with our UFC matches and tournaments, like we get these nerves whenever it gets close, or we think about, oh, it's time to close the match out. So, did you have a go-to routine?
Yeah, first of all, the level is irrelevant. Like the nerves are real. Like you're gonna feel nerves when you play. If you don't feel nerves, you're not human. I played USTA national, 5-0 USTA nationals 4 years ago, and I was a nervous wreck. Go figure, right? So
Yeah.
so you are gonna get nervous. We devote so much time to the sport, and we don't want to let our teammates down. We don't want to let our partner down. We want to all make it be okay that we're spending so much time in this one endeavor, right? So it's all pressure is mostly self-induced, I think, at most levels. I mean, yes, on the professional level, there's external pressures, agents and sponsors and all that, but by and large, it's internally induced. And my strategies, I had many, many strategies, but I think probably the two things that made the most difference was, the first one was learning to detach from the outcome, and um, and that's simply trying not to worry about what's going to happen at the end of the match. If you're playing,
Yeah.
the third point of the game or trying to close out the first set, it really shouldn't matter whether you're going to. You shouldn't be thinking about winning or losing the match, right? You should just be worrying about playing the next point, and but also not caring whether you win or lose, which is not an easy thing to do. And at first, I thought it was actually impossible. And I'll tell you the story. It's actually a funny story how I first heard of this line detached from the outcome. I was playing in the Wimbledon final, and I was playing with my partner Natasha Zvereva, and we were playing against Larisa Savchenko Nilan and Yana Novotna, and we were um, we were down 4-1, 30-15. They were serving, so 2 breaks, and it rained. They're 2 points away from being up 5-1. This is in the finals, and I come off court because it rained and playing terrible. And my coach says that, he says you have to detach from the outcome, and I'm like,
Hmm.
well, that's first of all, what does that even mean? Second of all, how do you even do that? And third of all, that's impossible because this is a Wimbledon final. And in the previous year's final, the same 4 players were on the court, but we had all shifted. We had all changed partners. And what happened was at the end of the previous final, I was playing with Yana and Natasha was playing with Larissa. And my partner Yana double faults a match point, 6-4 in the third. We lose the match. I'm devastated, and she proceeds to dump me after losing in the final. And we had won the French. So, unbeknownst to Natasha and I, both Yana and Larissa, before the final, had agreed to play together the rest of the year. So after the final, we both got dumped. So now, fast forward a year, and the dumpies are playing the dumpers. And how bad do you think we wanted to win that match, right?
Oh yeah.
The guy says, well, you just have to detach from the outcome. And I'm like, are you, there's no way. So he said basically you have to go out and play every point like it's, the match point, but really not care whether you win or lose. And when you when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter if you win a tennis match or you lose a tennis match. We're not in a war zone. We're not curing cancer. We're not brain surgeons. We're not doing anything other than hitting a tennis ball, right? So that was really helpful. And somehow I managed to heed his advice, and we lost one more game. We won 6-4, 6-1, and then we played that team in five of the next six Grand Slam finals, and we never lost to them.
Amazing.
So yeah, the attachment from the outcome works if you um, can continue to tell yourself that over time. Do you hear that background noise? Do I need to go inside, or is it not
I
too
mean, I
bad?
heard a little bit, but I can still hear you pretty well, so
And
it's
then
not
the
too bad.
second thing that was huge was learning to meditate. I
Mm,
learned to meditate in April of '92. I was at the Deepak Chopra Center in Lancaster, Massachusetts, and learned transcendental meditation and diaphragmatic breathing. And I went from doing that to the French. Won the French in June. I won the Wimbledon in July. I won the U.S. Open in September. Sorry, the Olympic gold medal in August. The U.S. Open in September. The championships in October and the Australian Open in January, all within a 6 month period of learning how to meditate. So that meditation taught me the skill of changing one thought for another without judgment or emotion, and that's what meditation does. You get in this zone where you're just thinking about one thing, and when your mind wanders, you just have to calmly bring it back. And that skill of I would get mad because I lost concentration, and then I would bring it back. And over time, I stopped getting mad. I just I lost my mind again. I got to bring it back, and that's what happened in the match. Instead of getting so angry that I couldn't play, I would just focus on the next point and bring it back. And that was those two things were very helpful.
yeah,
So I
really
would
great.
meditate before matches and the changeovers between sets. I would just had a meditation routine.
Yeah, I love that so much. I mean, the meditation routine, I was doing that very consistently for a while, and I've been a little bit off it, but it just really helps me be more calm. And I kind of use some of the principles like you do, where, in between points, I'll do some deep breathing. There's also a technique called box breathing, which you all should definitely check out, and a really good one to try to lower your heart rate and whatnot. And yeah, detachment of the outcome. I had a doubles match yesterday, and it's kind of I don't know what word to use, but it's only an hour and a half, so it's very constricted. So a lot of times, whoever wins the first set, it's like really important. And
Yes, yeah,
after we, yeah, and so after we won the first set, like I was very tempted to check my watch and see what's the time, like this and that. But then I actually thought what you said, to like detach myself from the outcome and say, you know what, just play, don't worry about the time, like just focus. Because I've done it in the past where I've been up, a set and a few games, and then it turned out where I would be playing much more tightly and just, restricting my play because of this whole time thing. So
yeah.
yeah, so I
Did you
really like
win?
that. Yeah, we did.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, 2-6. It was a little windy but fun. All right, we got some comments here. Okay. CG says, can you repeat the two types of meditation that you learned?
Okay, yeah. So it's diaphragm. So the first is transcendental meditation. Um, but I think any type of meditation works. I had a mantra. I went to a center where they had a guru and they gave me a mantra that I repeated. But I mean, it could be that you just go 20 minutes in a quiet space, sit down with a timer. So you put a 20-minute timer on your phone, turn everything else off, and then just concentrate on your breathing. Like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and try to think of nothing else but your breath. It's almost impossible, right, Mervan? It's like your mind's
Yeah.
going to wander, and that's okay. You're going to bring it back and just do that for 20 minutes. At first, you'll probably forget that you're supposed to be meditating. In fact, I don't know, 5 years ago, I was going through a stressful period in my life, and I thought I need to start meditating. So I was on a plane, and if the plane was bumpy, so I was stressed, and I was meditating because of that too. And I set my timer, and I started to meditate, and whatever I was doing. Next thing I know, I'm watching a movie, I'm reading books, and the timer goes off. I'm like, oh my god, I was supposed to be meditating. I totally never even meditated for more than 15 seconds. So you got to stick with it. You maybe start with 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and then slowly increase the time. So, and then the other thing was diaphragmatic breathing, which is just breathing from the diaphragm, where you do like a really deep breath through your nose and try to get the air into your bottom of your lung, not shallow breathing, but really deep breathing. I did in through the nose, out through the nose, with my mouth closed, and getting all that oxygen into your system also not only helped with staying calm, but also with my muscle recovery. Like active elastic buildup, a lot of blood flowing to my muscles would cause less cramping, less tiredness. So diaphragmatic breathing is very effective. Do you hear that noise? Do I need to move or not? Are we good?
I mean, I do hear the noise. Like, I
Oh
guess when you
wow!
talk, it's like a little louder. I mean, a little lower, but I don't know. Is it easy to move, or
Yeah,
if not,
very,
like we could
very,
still hear
very,
you?
very easy to move. Hold on.
All right. Okay. Cool. I
Just
will read some
relax and move.
comments.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, we get a nice view of Gigi's
It's my
place.
house.
Oh my gosh. Should I turn the camera off? No, it looks nice. Yeah, Rachel says, sounds like I need to start. Definitely. I really highly encourage you to start. Even just 5 minutes a day, Rachel, would be great. And you can go up from there. Um, Bob says, I don't, but I try to slow and regulate my breathing when stressed. CG, that's right, diaphragmatic breathing. Oh, I can't pronounce. Catherine, hi. There we go. Gigi, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Looks
I was
good. Yeah,
trying to
thanks for
throw my
moving.
AirPods. I don't think I have my AirPods. That would
Huh?
be part of the. All right, we're good.
You good? Okay, perfect. I'll just read a few more comments. Mark, I wouldn't call what I do meditation, but I know how to slow my heart rate from cross country skiing. Oh, very cool. Yeah. Wasn't Sinner was a skier, right? I think.
Was he?
I think one of those
Yeah.
top
So
guys
lowering
was a
your heart
skier.
rate is not meditating. Let's just make that clear. Like,
That's true.
yes, lowering your heart rate is great, but it's not meditating because when you're meditating, you're quieting your mind, right? So lower it is not for the person lowering your heart rate so much as it is for just quieting the mind. Like like if you talk to the gurus about it, when you're doing the mantra, which is basically a two-word syllable that you repeat over and over again, it's the time between the mantras where your brain is in complete stillness and in what they call bliss, right? So the more that you can have just complete quiet in your brain in that period between the repeating of the mantra. So if you're using the breath example, it's like breathe in, breathe out, and then that pause between the out and then the in again, that's where you're in bliss and where your brain is completely in silence. I'm coming right back. I'm gonna close this door.
Oh, no worries. Gosh, I was just doing that now and I didn't want to stop, but then the stream would die off. So I guess I'll just keep chatting. Um let's see. Rachel, I can hear you fine. Perfect. Mr. Peter says hi guys, and he
Pete's
also
here.
yeah, and
Hi,
he also
Pete.
says tell Gigi I still have a crush on her after all
Oh,
these
you're
years.
so sweet.
Yeah, sorry Pete, not going to happen.
Oh, we can
Yeah.
hang out. Come to Tanzania, Pete. Bring your friends to Tanzania. We're going on safari next summer.
They're like, "Oh yeah, I see your shirt now. That's so nice."
A Tanzania shirt. Yes,
Yeah.
that was an amazing adventure going on that safari with the Mac and Rose. So just have you
Yeah.
been in safari?
No, I haven't. Just the one at Disney World.
I mean, it was just beyond. It's the most spectacular thing I've ever done. It was just truly life changing. So
Oh.
I'm really thrilled to be putting a trip together there for next year and bring that to people. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's like people just never
Yeah,
forget those types of experiences, like you just mentioned. Good stuff.
yeah.
Definitely check that out from Gigi. A question for you. What advice do you have for players on how to pick a good doubles partner to complement your game? Maybe you've got a USTA team and there's like, 20 people on it and you're trying to figure out who should I play with. So what are your thoughts?
Well, the first thing that I say is you gotta like the person, right? Because you're competing, which is stressful. So you want to make sure you like the person, you can communicate with them. Assuming that, then you like really opposites attract in doubles. Like you want something that is different than you that doesn't have what you have. So if you're like temperamental, you want somebody calm. If you're like this calm, you want somebody who can get a little bit more hyped up or more energetic. If you have also with the strokes, if you have somebody with a good forehand, you want somebody with a good backhand, then you go on opposite sides, and you always want to put your strong ground strokes on the outside in the baseline. If you have if you are inconsistent with your returns, you want a steady returner. If you don't have a big serve, you want somebody with a big serve. So always try to find somebody that has what you don't have,
Mm.
so you can complement each other. So the case of the sum being better than the wholes, right? Or the whole being whatever that statement is. The
Yeah.
sum being better than the parts, or whatever it is. Like together, you become better than individually, and that's what you want. Um, as far as temperament, I always feel like two super hyper people or super type A's are going to clash, and two people who are just sort of too mellow are going to just stay down there. You need that sort of back and forth, or that person who's going to help you get up a little bit if you're kind of the sort of more steady Eddie.
Right.
And if you're that steady Eddie, and if you're like the hype person, you need somebody more crown. Which is why I love play. Pick Mary Joe Fernandez play the Olympics, because I'm like this, right? And she was like steady Eddie, even keel, always there, reliable, and so yeah, look for somebody that's different than you.
Yeah, that's such great advice because for me, like I play like playing deuce side. My forehand is much stronger than my backhand, so I always find these really good deuce partners who like their backhand, and also ideally, I prefer to set up my partner kind of like volleyball, just hit heavy forehands and then
Right.
have them pick off at net. So somebody who's like pretty good at net as well to complement. So really
Yeah.
glad to hear that I'm somewhat in.
The setter and the finisher. If you're the setter, you need a finisher. If you're the finisher, you need a setter.
That's right. That's right. Good stuff. Let's see. We got some really good questions here. Britt, hello from Seattle. Oh, nice place. I am starting to have age-related injuries. Oh, sorry to hear that.
Uh,
Degenerative,
I
knee
feel we both.
cartilage.
Oh man.
Yeah, same. Any thoughts on staying fit for the long term? I mean, you're still playing, Gigi, so what do you think?
Um. Well, I don't know. Who is this from?
Oh, from Britt.
Brit.
From
I'd want to know what she's doing to stay fit. Oh yeah, I see
mm-hmm.
her. Hello from Brit. So I do like a boot camp type of cardio workout 2 to 3 times a week. I play I try to play tennis or pickleball once or twice a week, and then I try to go for a walk once or twice a week. Nothing super high impact. I mean, the boot camp cardio is more with light weights and my body weight. I'm not running. Like I would just stay away from running. It just wrecks your knees,
Mm,
um, and you don't really you don't really need to run to play tennis. That sounds really weird, but you don't really need long distance running
right.
to play tennis. It's more like dynamic movements. Short burst, a lot of lateral side to side. And find a good physio. Like I have massages at least once a month, usually 2 or 3 times a month. I still treat myself to that. Massage MV's very affordable membership. I think it's $69 or $59 a month. Most people can afford that. And yeah, you got to take care of your body. So, and it sounds like degenerative knee cartilage might require a knee replacement, unfortunately, which most people that I've known that have had knee replacements are very happy afterwards. They're much happier afterwards than before.
Ooh, how long does that take to recover from once you get the surgery? Have you heard?
Not as long as ACL reconstruction,
Ooh,
was 9 months.
oh my gosh, yeah,
I think
yeah.
I don't know. I really can't say, but it's not 9 months. It's probably 3 to 6 months, somewhere in that range.
Gotcha. Cool. Thanks
But
for
I'm
the
not a
tips
doctor. If
there.
there's any doctors on the chat, they can pipe in.
Yeah, I know we've had some doctors on the chat, foot doctor, but let's see. All right. Frau. Oh, cool name. Any tips on getting brave enough to poach? That was one of my questions I was going to ask you.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I think you have to practice poaching. You can't just all of a sudden decide you want to poach and start poaching. So a good poach practice, you need a coach to feed you balls, but basically have stand in the middle of the box, of the serving box, and then just have your coach feed you balls that are going cross court, and you just practice poaching it. Put a target where you want the ball to hit, and then just yeah, preferably have 3 or 4 of you, so you don't have to like poach and get back, poach and get back. If there's 3 or 4 people doing this at the same time, or even 4 of you, like next time you go drill with your coach, just have the 4 of you lined up on the do side or on the outside. So you have 4 hand volley poaches and have them feed balls cross court, and you just poach. And then do the outside so you can poach with the backhand volley. So the more you practice something and can do it in a non-match situation, then the better you're going to get at doing it in a match situation. I find that a lot of times people are afraid to poach because they're afraid of their partner's reaction. So maybe
Mm.
beforehand, like talk to your partner about it. How does she feel about you poaching, or he or she? Um, are they okay with you missing if you poach? Because my philosophy is that you don't always win the poach with the poach. A lot of times you win the poach because they saw you go, changed their mind, went behind you or missed, or they see you go and they try to make it a little better cross court shot that goes wide. Or sometimes it pays dividends 3 shots later. You poach, this time you missed it, but now the next time you have the opportunity, you're in their brain and they think you might poach. So you do a little fake, they come back to you, or you're in their sphere of thoughts, right? So make sure that you have a partner that's supportive of you messing up, because everybody messes up. Everybody messes up when they poach, and everybody gets passed down the line when they poach. Um, and if you don't have a supportive partner, then either find another partner or don't poach so much in that time, because um, you're not going to feel brave if your partner's not supportive.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it's so much about the fear of failure, as you mentioned, and I was talking about this a little bit yesterday with Peter, but how like I was playing singles like 99% of juniors, and when I went to college, I remember the first doubles practice we had, I was just like looking at the ball, whiz by me and thinking like, how the heck am I gonna get any of these shots? Like, what? I'm just useless here at the net. But yeah, just through playing a lot of doubles, and then one thing that helped me was like actually when we would call like poach, like you are actually
Yeah,
poaching, like just so I would have to commit
like a
like at least
planned
once in a
poach,
while.
right?
Yeah,
Plan.
plan
I'm
poach.
going on the first. I'm going on the second. I'm going on the third. You tell your partner. Yeah.
Exactly. And I love that
Well,
variation that you mentioned. Hey, oh, what's the
there's my
kitty's
cat.
name?
Oh my God, there's Jules. And then the other thing is you have to make sure you're moving in a triangle. I'm sure I don't know if you've had, I've
Uh-huh.
talked about the poaching triangle. So you don't move laterally on the court at the net to poach. You want to move diagonal towards the center strap. And that's one leg of the triangle. If you don't get to the poach, you have to back up. Just follow the sideline, the center service line, right back to almost the service line. And then that's the second leg of the triangle. And then go diagonal towards the middle of the box again. That's the third leg of the triangle. So
Hmm.
really, you're moving in this triangular pattern, and then that will give you a better opportunity to poach. If you're moving side to side laterally, you'll never get the ball. It's
Yes.
not. It's too far away.
Yeah,
You got to cut the
exactly.
angles.
Yeah, that's a huge tip. I really like that one. There's actually a presentation today from Will Buchek from Tennis Tribe on the top or the most common poaching mistakes, and that was the first one that he
That was
mentioned.
one.
I don't want to
Great.
give away
Yeah.
too much, but just going sideways
Yeah. Well,
only
go,
is
go
not.
listen to that one. Yeah. I've talked about this a
Yeah,
lot, but if he's talking about it, go watch it.
yeah. No, no, yeah. I mean, it's great that
Wow.
we mentioned it.
Yeah.
Got a lot of cat fans on here, actually. Let's see, Gene. I have been told not to turn around and look at my partner. Uh-huh. But how do I know that my partner is way off the court or is struggling if I don't turn around? Thanks. Good question.
Okay. So, Gene, I 100% agree with that. Don't turn around and look at your partner. If you want to take a peek, like kind of slightly turn your head if you think your partner's out of trouble, like you should know by how the ball crosses the net whether your partner's going to be in trouble or not, right? If the ball crosses the net kind of close to you, they're probably not going to be in trouble. If the ball crosses the net way far away from you and they're going to be running for it, they could possibly be in trouble. Um, the key here, the reason that you don't turn around and look at your partner is because by the time you turn, the ball's going to travel faster than your ability to move your head back in position, right? So by the time you've turned back to that ball, if your opponent at the net poaches, you have no chance to get that ball back. So really, the net players watch each other. If you're watching the net player, your
Mm.
opposing net player, you'll know if you need to be ready because you'll see they're going to start to pounce, right? They're going to start to move, start to poach, and then you'll know that your partner was in trouble or your partner hit a weak shot, right? It's a hard thing to do. So I tell players, like your peripheral vision is fairly valuable, right? I mean,
Right.
you can look like I can see this hand here that's behind me, right? So if you just do one of these, kind of turn a little bit, you can kind of see what your partner's doing without having to actually turn and watch them, or turn your whole body and watch them. So that's my
Yeah.
advice. Just use your peripheral vision.
Yeah, really good advice. There's been a couple times where I've caught myself watching and I watched my partner, he hits a shot, then I look up and the guy is
Or
volleying at my face.
poaching. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Absolutely.
oh, yeah. So that's that not very fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We got the questions rolling in. Steve, what do you do when your opponents are always calling balls
Oh
in
God.
on my side of the court after I call them out and I'm practically standing on the line in question? It's a strange one.
Wait, your opponents are calling the ball in? They can't.
On
Okay, first of all, your opponents cannot call your balls. So
right.
call it out, then call stands. So
That's
if they're
right.
questioning your line calling, that's a whole different conversation, right? But I always, when someone's cheating, I always give them the benefit of the doubt. And my rationale behind this is, do you? I'm sure you've watched before when I actually there were still lines people on the court. Now they're most tournaments just have the Hawkeye. But before, when there
Yeah.
was lines people on the court, and the players could challenge. I think they were wrong on the challenges like 89% of the time, some crazy number. So the pros who have the best eyes in the world, who hire these, I mean, the level of the trained eye of a pro, you can't even imagine, right? So if they can't get it right, how are we mere mortals going to get it right, right? So I think people just don't see. I don't think they're intentionally cheating. I just don't think they know how to call it. They don't see it. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
my
definitely.
philosophy.
Definitely. Yeah, it's your call. And at the end of the day, let's see, Don. As a baseline player, do you have any tips on how to become more comfortable being at the net in doubles?
Well, it's just again, it goes back to practice, right? And
Yeah, a lot of
first
reps.
getting comfortable with your volleys, and that requires either lessons, or if you don't have, can't afford lessons, don't have a pro around your area that could teach it, go volley against a wall. Anybody can, like, find a wall and stand. Let's say stand from the service line to the net, away from the wall, and then hit 15 or 24 hand volleys in a row, then hit 15 or 20 backhand volleys in a row. It sounds easy, but it's not. Then take 3 steps forward and do it again. Then take 3 steps forward and do it again. And take 3 steps forward and do it again. And then eventually you're going to be 3 feet from the net, from the wall. And if you can hit, 10, 15, 20 volleys, forehand volleys, and 10, 20, 30, 40 backhand volleys into the wall at that speed, when you're that close, then you're going to get more comfortable at the net. So I'd say use the wall.
Yeah, that's a great tool. I love training on the wall. Just
Yeah.
fantastic.
And you can go
Well,
forehand volley, backhand volley, forehand volley, backhand volley, forehand volley, backhand volley, right?
that's right.
But
Unfortunately,
yeah,
the wall always wins, but if you can get past that,
totally.
you're okay.
Yeah.
uh, good stuff. Let's see. So, CG22. Check out the book Ageless Painless Tennis by Dave Starbuck Smith. Check that out. I'm having some Starbuck right now. Sorry, horrible joke. Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers. What else? Maida, I thought you meant Peter Moore. Saw him in Evansville last week.
Peter Moore. Peter Moore was my coach when I was playing. Um,
Mm.
yeah, he was great. Man, he put up with a lot of shit, that guy.
Uh-huh.
He was great.
I
Yeah.
can tell. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Let's see, Mr. Peter Freeman again. Do you suggest players 4 and below rip or chip second serve returns under pressure?
Under pressure, grip it and rip it. I think under pressure, when you're tight, it's hard to have finesse. I mean, at least for me, it was like under pressure, I just had to rip the ball, because the tighter you get, and the only way to get through tightness is to just let it rip. In fact, when I was playing matches, and sometimes you start out a match, and for some god known reason, you're more nervous than others. Like, makes no sense. Some days you're just gonna be more nervous, and that's happened to me. Like I said earlier, when I was playing 5 nationals, for no reason I was nervous. It just happens. So when that would happen to me, what I would do is I would take the first return game and I would tell my partner, okay, I'm just gonna rip. I'm not feeling so comfortable, so I just hit the crap out of the ball. So I would just literally hit the ball as hard as I could for the first game, every return, and rip the crap out of it. Or even in the warm up, if I was already feeling nervous in the warm up, I would do it in the warm up. So what that does is, by letting the arm go, your muscles start to relax,
Mm.
and you're not going to hit it long because you're tight. So when you're tight, you're like, nothing goes. So I say let it rip under pressure.
Yeah, I love
I
that.
think he was
And
looking for the other answer. I'm thinking he was thinking the other answer, but because they're
oh
below
no.
4-0, but still, I think rip it, and rip it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I do remember one coach who would tell his son whenever he got nervous to do the same thing. He actually told him hit 3 balls in the fence, and I think that
Yeah,
was
but it's
good
hard to hit the ball
mental.
in the fence when you're tight,
Yeah,
right? Because
exactly.
your arm doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
So he said
Peter,
yes. He was looking for the other answer.
interesting.
Yeah,
No, yeah,
he was looking for the
it's
other
good.
answer, but it's not. I just think when you're tight, it's hard to
Mm,
do finesse when you're tight. It's just
fair.
you're gonna just I don't know my opinion, but I'm not a three. I'm not below 4-0, so maybe that matters.
That's true. Oh, I was just thinking too. My team actually made nationals this past, or was it last? Yeah, last year. But we didn't have enough players who could commit. So, oh man, we could have
Oh,
seen each other. Dang
that's
it!
a bummer. Well,
I know.
this was like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, maybe not the
yeah,
same then, but yeah, hopefully maybe
yeah.
this year. Oh, actually, one of my friends, Sam Lieber, he texted me and because I told him I was on live with you, and he said, "Ooh, try to recruit her for our 5-0 women's team." But I
Ah,
mean, obviously, can you just fly over
no,
one
my
weekend? And
competitive playing days are over. Like somebody asked
oh,
me
come
yesterday to
on.
play at the club here. They needed somebody to play like a mixed doubles match at the club. I'm like, yeah, no,
Yeah, you're too busy
no.
helping folks.
No, it's not that. I just have nothing to gain and everything to lose. And everybody wants to beat me,
Hmm.
and I could care less about beating anybody. And I hate losing. Absolutely hate losing still. So then I become Psycho Gigi because I don't want to lose. And I don't like Psycho Gigi. Psycho Gigi was good on tour, but it's not good when
Yeah.
you're 60 years old playing in the
Ooh.
country club.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's true.
Psycho
You know,
Gigi is gone.
you have people saying, "Oh yeah, I beat Gigi Fernandez," and they say, "Oh, when did you do
Exactly.
that?"
The
Anyways.
other day. Yeah. That's why I don't even
Hey.
like to play pickleball with girls because the girls, I play pickleball here now, and when I lose to a girl, the next thing I hear about it from someone else, and it's like, really, you beat me in pickleball, and you're going to brag about it? So,
I know, right? Come on.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just got a text from my friend Guillermo. I'm telling him, asking right now. So he said, "Tell Gigi you have a Puerto Rican friend on your team that curses in Spanish when he's pissed on the
Uh,
court. Ask her what her favorite Spanish curse word is that she uses on court." Oh, I don't know.
oh,
Do you have one? Ah, you can say it,
oh
whatever.
yeah. Me cago en la puta madre. You can bleep that
Oh.
out when you put it back on the thing.
We'll see. We'll see. Guillermo, I'm sure you really enjoyed that one. That was freaking hilarious. Oh, he just put ha 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 in like all caps. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Gigi. I gotta gather myself here. Let's see. Mark, my volleys were better today. When I poached, I got to the net strap. Thanks for the tip last night, Pete and Maribon. Yeah, so Peter was talking about okay, sorry, he had a question of like how far up to the net do you want to be when you poach, and then Peter said you want to be as far up as you can, like just try to get to
Absolutely.
the net strap. Okay,
It's very
good.
hard to miss a volley when you're standing on top of the net, right? It's
Yeah,
much easier
yeah,
to miss it when
exactly.
you're in the service line.
Yeah. Good stuff. Glad we agree there, Peter. um Tennis House, oh man, Devore, he does such great work.
Hello,
What are
DeVore.
Yeah, he's the man. What are strategies to prevent the opponents of constant lobbing for
Oh,
beginner level?
so I just
Ooh.
bring him in. I just hit short returns and bring him in, and you can't lob when you're at the net. So
Uh,
that's a short answer. But I mean,
hmm.
uh, it's also harder to lob shorter balls. The deeper the ball is, the more likely they are to lob it. So if they're back, just hit it short. When they're running forward, it's very hard to lob.
Yeah, that's really good. I agree with that. Peter, I would pay great money to see Psycho Gigi. Okay, how much? Come on, walk the walk, buddy.
Oh, that's funny.
We'll start at $1,000. Start the bid. Brit 35 Virgin 40. Nice. Trying to figure out where to best to apply limited resources, time and money that will improve my chances of getting to the next level. A coach, group lessons, just play more, clinics. I mean, I think clinics with Gigi. But what do you think, Gigi? What should she do?
Yeah, so if I'm assuming she's doubles player, so I would say find a good doubles clinic or doubles group where you live. Find someone. I don't know where you live, but there's a lot of Gigi Method certified coaches around. But
Nice.
just learn doubles. Like a lot of times, you don't have to get you don't have to become a better player to get to the next level. You just have to understand the game of doubles better. It's like understand positioning, shot selection, tactics, what to cover, what to not cover, when to poach, when not to poach, um, all those things. If you can buy the GG method online, it's $99. There's a lot of good information on that. Um, and then Britt, come to one of my camps. Indian Wells is probably my most popular camp. Actually, the only camp I'm doing these days is Indian Wells. So yeah, just try to really understand the game of doubles better. There's a lot of free resources out there too, like on the internet, YouTube videos, etc. But nothing like something practical, like coming to learn from someone or going to learn from someone or um, doing it live.
Yeah, for sure. I'm putting in Gigi's website right now so you can check out all her stuff.
Thank
GigiFernandezTennis.com.
you.
Yeah, of course. No problem. Let's see. Okay, Christopher, how did you learn to cope with losing when you turned pro? Good
I
question.
didn't.
Even pros. You didn't.
I still
Psycho
haven't learned how to cope
Gigi.
with losing. Psycho Gigi. Okay,
Hola.
so that's a great question. So it took me a long, long time because I didn't lose that much as a junior. Not because I had a great junior career, because I was from Puerto Rico and no one played tennis, so I didn't have any competition. So and I lost 2 matches in college my freshman year, and then I turned pro. So I've lost, I don't know, 10 times in my entire life. And then when you turn pro, you lose
Jeez.
every single week, and I was psychotic. And you lose twice, singles and doubles. So I
Oof.
got to the U.S. Open in 1988, and I was going to retire. I was like done with losing, and I was just done. 4
Wow.
years I tried. I'm like, this didn't work.
Yeesh.
So I was fortunate enough to meet Jim Lair, who taught me some great skills. Like basically, what to do between points was a big one because I didn't really have,
Yeah.
83% of the times when we're playing tennis, we're not hitting the ball. We're in between points. So tennis is 83% mental to me because that's the whole time you're in your head when you're not playing a point. So he taught me what to do with that. But then what I learned as I matured is, and I don't know how old Christopher is, but what I learned as I matured is that losing is the greatest opportunity to learn, because when you win, you don't have to work on anything. You won, everything's good. You were better than the opponent. Learn nothing. Every time you lose, every time I lost, I learned something. It's like, okay, why did I lose this time? What was it? I wasn't fit enough. Okay, I gotta get fitter. My forehand broke down. I gotta hit my forehands. I didn't come to the net enough. I gotta come to the net more. Whatever it was. So analyze um, why you lost, and then figure out how to make it better, and that's how you improve. So really, losing is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful advice here. Let's see. Steve, so sad you're not playing anymore. It would be great to watch
Ah,
you.
my God, Steve, I'm 60 years old. You don't want to watch me play.
60. I don't believe. No,
I
no.
just turned
No,
60. The big
no,
60.
don't believe. Don't believe. Check the birth certificate. Let's see. Guillermo, another question, my friend. Oh, this is a good one. I'd love to hear more about her great singles run in 1994, semis at Wimby and quarters at the U.S. Open. Was there anything she worked on that year that was key to improve her singles game that year?
Well, I tell you that when I made the semifinals of Wimbledon, I was going to quit singles because I turned 30, and back in my day, 30 was ancient. Like, and people played to 30 was like, wow, they were all already on the major decline. So I had lost 9 first rounds in a row to
Oof.
start the year when I got to
Yeah.
Wimbledon. So I was just going to retire from singles. So I think in a way the pressure was off. Um, and that kind of obviously revitalized my singles career because then I made the quarterfinals of uh, the U.S. Open that year, and then that probably gave me another year and a half of playing singles. And then my last year, the year I was 33, so when I retired that last year, I didn't play singles. So it gave me 2 more years. Um, and what I did differently, I think, what's interesting, like the very first, speaking of losing, the very first time in my life that I lost and enjoyed myself was the Wimbledon semifinal.
Mm.
For the only match that I ever played in my entire career up to that point of 30 years of playing tennis that I lost and actually enjoyed myself. So that taught me a lesson. It's like, wow, if I could enjoy myself playing and lose, and it's okay. Like I had a great time, even though I lost. If I could replicate this, then I'll I can keep playing because I was really ready to retire. I was kind of burnt out, and I got I got 3 more years out of that. So yeah, learning to lose, like again, it goes back to detaching from the outcome, because if you don't care if you win or lose, if you're detached from that, then you're more able to enjoy the moment and enjoy competing, enjoy being out there. And um, and I always like to say nowadays, like you could be sitting in the desk working, right? And you're playing tennis. So how great is this? I'm out here playing tennis. I could be sitting at a desk pushing papers or in my computer doing something. So just enjoy being out there.
Love it, love it. Yeah, Guillermo said I like that response a lot. Yeah, it is so true. Just because to play optimally, we have to be in the present, and of course, if you're thinking about the results, like the score and stuff, what's the score is going to be. You're thinking about the future. You're not in the present, so you want to stick to the present and just enjoy yourself. And whenever I think about being grateful for being able to play tennis, that immediately relaxes me and I play much better. So that's like what you just said. So really, really like that advice there.
Yeah.
What else we got? Devor, love it. Let's see. Thank you, Devor. David, which older adults enjoy playing tennis more? Former pro, maybe college players, or rec players who didn't spend their childhood playing? Hmm.
Oh my
What do you
God, how
think?
do you answer that, David?
Hmm.
Um,
That's tough.
I would say not former pros, because really generally former pros don't like to play tennis. Like I literally this year made it a goal to start playing tennis again, but for fun, right? Because for the last, let's see, I retired when I was 33. So for the last 27 years of whenever I played tennis, it was not to have fun. Because
Hmm.
it's too tied to my job, right? It was too tied
Hmm.
to work and the pain that came with it. It's a lot of pain that comes with being a professional tennis player that people don't think about. It's a lot of sacrifice and pain, meaning physical pain, like the exertion and the way we train and the way we kill our bodies, and the way we just completely overdo it, um, overtrain. I mean, you have to, so that you could sustain, 3 hours of constant, possibly 3 hours. For the guys, it's five, but you have to be ready to play a 3 hour match every time you go out there. So there's a lot of pain attached to it. Whereas for rec players, it's just fun, right? You're just playing for fun and
Yeah.
you're trying to get better, and which is really why I love what I do. I love teaching people. They're always so excited to be on the court and so
Yeah.
excited to learn, and it's sort of infectious. Like I really love it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like kind of new for them, especially those that learn later in life. Whereas like, I mean, you to a much larger extent, Gigi, but like me too, having played college and a ton of juniors, like you already kind of experienced a lot of the competitiveness. But for them, it's like they're so into it first time or whatever, going in this phase. So I would go with rec probably,
Yeah.
enjoying it more.
Okay.
So yeah, for sure. Devor, thanks. It's so important to our sports to have you guys doing what you're doing. Thank you. Same with you, Devor. Huge IG channel, and I know you're developing your YouTube, getting that going, and yeah, great content, Devor, and you have great conferences too. Tennis House. So, Steven, other than your Gigi method, what book do you recommend? Doubles, strategy, and drills.
I
Hmm.
don't.
Hmm. What do you recommend?
Stick to the Gigi
Gigi.
method. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy the book of
Yeah.
drills. I have a book of drills. It's a little expensive, but it's only $16 a week, but you have to pay for the whole year. There's 40 weeks of drills that are like, if school starts from the beginning, and it's a progression, like everything you could ever imagine that you need to do on a tennis court is in this 40-week progression of drills. Um, that's what I would do. I would invest the money in that, or at least invest the money in the Gigi method.
Yeah,
So I only
definitely.
have a few more minutes. Can
Okay.
you forward to Sammy Hunk's question?
Yes,
Let's go
Sammy, I
for
would
that.
appreciate
Yeah.
it Yeah, for sure. Parental advice for raising a competitive junior girl. 14 on balancing school tennis tournament schedule, L1 to 3. It seems to be impossible to compete against homeschool juniors.
Yeah, level one. That's the highest level, like level one, level three.
I think
You
so.
know.
Been a
Yeah.
while. I don't know if it.
Yeah, I think it's L7 sort of the bottom.
Hmm.
Okay, so what I would say, so in the context of I have a 15-year-old highly competitive soccer player that's going to probably, well, she plays the highest level of competitive soccer, so it's probably equal. Um, and I'm constantly balancing all that for her. And I think the number one priority is that she's still enjoying it, that your daughter is enjoying it, that she is still having fun doing it, and that she is not pushed into it. Like I try really hard not to push my daughter, and you should try really hard not to push your daughter because, especially at this age when they're becoming teenagers and they start to have their own mind about what they want to do, and so yeah, I would say it really doesn't matter what. If, depending on her goals, like if does she want to play college tennis, does she want to be a pro? Like, what does she want to do? If she wants to be a pro, then you might want to consider homeschooling her. But if she just wants to play college tennis, then it's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point at 14. I mean, probably in 2 years, it's probably more important that she's her rankings higher. No one's getting recruited at 14 to play college tennis. So that's what I would say. Like the main thing is that she's just continuing to have fun.
100% Gigi. Yeah. Should we do outro or do you take
No,
one
no,
more? I don't.
I have like 4 more minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. All right. Thanks. Uh, Cade, I'm a 4-0 player looking to improve. What's the most important off the court practice that you suggest?
Off the court practice, so not on the
Yeah.
court.
Hmm.
That's a tough one.
I mean, it
Assuming
depends.
you're
Like, are you
fit,
playing doubles or singles? And
I'm assuming you're
us.
fit, right? But I don't think that
Yeah.
you can. I don't think you can. I think you have to
Off the court.
do it on court. I really do. Assuming you're fit and um, have good. Maybe you could do footwork drills or plyometrics or
Yeah.
boot camp just to
Mobility.
get mobility. Yeah, like maybe
Yeah.
some box jumping or some cardio type boot camp. That's what I do. I love it. Um,
Yeah.
but I
I
would
mean,
say I would say more on the court, right? I mean, at 4,
yeah.
you're still working on your game. Like I worked on my game until I turned 30. Like I remember being 30 years old and telling my coach, "Okay, I think I think this game I have now that has already won me 14 Grand Slams. I think this is the game that I'm going to keep until I retire. Like,
Decent.
I don't need to make it any shot better. Like every shot's as good as it's going to be, and that's enough, right? But when you're 4-0, there's still a lot of room for improvement, right? So it has to happen on the tennis court more than off the court. So I'd say just grind it out. If you have extra time and don't have a person to play with or whatever, I already talked about the wall, but go hit against a wall or go hit against a ball machine. Ball machines are great. Like just get the ball machine out and put a target, and always put a target when you're using the ball machine. So you don't aimlessly hit balls. You're
Yeah.
hitting balls to a spot. And then every time you hit it, it's like, how close did you get to it? And when you're aiming for targets, don't miss twice in the same direction. So if you're
Mm.
trying to hit it here and it keeps going there, then aim there. And then aim's going to come in. So it's conscious practicing, right? That the ball machine can really help with.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you really want off court, like you have to kind of assess your body. Like, what is it that I need the most? Is my endurance like struggling, or is it like strength or power, things like that, or mobility? And then yeah, I'm always a big fan of like serve return if it's like on court, just because like it's those are so important. But yeah,
Yes.
great advice there. I guess maybe one more. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, okay, well, let's go with Lisa's question. I know you emailed me, Lisa. I'll get back to you. But the modern game is so physical. Do you think the schedule should be less so players don't need to play so many matches on the tour?
I don't think players play nearly as much as they used to. So you're asking the wrong person. Like, I mean, back in our day, we played 18 to 26 tournaments. Now they're playing 12 to 15. Like I said, it makes so much more money. But I do agree that the schedule's too long. I mean, I think the top players have the luxury of playing not that many tournaments, but the people who are like grinding it out are having to play more tournaments to make a living. But there definitely should be an off season. It's just, we've been having this conversation for 40 years on the tennis world. There's just doesn't seem to be a way to make it happen, to me, because it's a business, right? So to me, between September and January, there should be very little going on, but there's still 3 months of tournaments, right? And you can't keep those people from making a living. So it's never going to end. So players just have to do a better job or a good job of managing their own schedules. And it's a global sport. It's played all over the world, and there's just that demand for it. So I don't think that's ever going to change.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I know there's some questions we didn't get to, but Gigi has to go. So you come to the other live streams and ask them as well with our other great coaches. Yeah, just to wrap up, Gigi, anywhere that you want to direct the audience to check out?
Yeah, so I do. I'm teaching a little bit less, so I'm kind of focusing mostly of my teachings on Indian Wells camps, which I'm taking reservations for those right now. And then I just sort of have pivoted a little bit more to travel experiences. So we're going to Wimbledon, going to the French Open this year. And then I have a camp in the Virgin Islands in November, and then I mentioned the safari already that I'm doing tennis safari in Tanzania in end of May of 2025. And those are super fun experiences because we get to hang out for a whole week. And that's what when I went to this McEnroe safari, that's kind of what I learned from that safari, that I really enjoyed being in one place for 8 days and getting to know people. Because at this stage of my life, it's not about making another $1,000. It really is more about the human connection and getting to know people, and enjoying learning from people and hanging out, and doing these kinds of things is more fun for me than feeding him more balls.
Right.
So that's kind of one of experiences are what I really enjoy doing. So yeah. And as far as doubles goes, the Gigi Method I think is a great tool to learn doubles, and it's a video format. You can listen at your own pace. It's $99, which is about what you pay for a lesson in a lot of places. And yeah, and thank you for doing this, Mervan, this tennis summit, the 8th tennis summit, right?
Yeah.
It's a great thing that you and Pete do, Pete with TennisCon and you with the summit. I'm happy to keep coming here to talk to you guys as long as you'll have me. So I appreciate the invite, and hopefully it does really well this year.
Yeah, thanks, Gigi. Like I said, really an honor to have such a great champion here. And I put Gigi's link for the All Access Pass if you want to go through her link and support her as well. So check out her website as well that I put in the links, the chat. So thank you, Gigi. Have a great day, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll connect soon. Thanks, everyone.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.